Hi, this is Maggie from Crafts the Charm. Welcome to a 2-minute technique. Today's technique is making a plaster cast. To do this, you'll want something to cast, such as a baking mold. Silicone works really well. Or you can use my special technique, which is to press something into salt dough. You're also going to want plaster of Paris, cool water, something to mix the plaster of Paris in, like a bowl, and something to mix with, like a plastic spoon. And you might want some oil, like vegetable oil or baby oil. To start, you can lightly oil your mold, although I have had success making casts without oiling my mold. If you're going to use the salt dough technique, then lay out a thick layer of salt dough, roll it flat, and then press your shape into the salt dough. If you're using something very flat, like a piece of cardboard, you can leave it in there. Otherwise, pull it out. You can also add features that are going to be indentations in your mold. For example, for this monstera leaf, I'm using hot glue and cardboard to add veins for the leaf. You can also then oil your salt dough mold. Once your molds are ready, estimate the amount of plaster of Paris that you're going to need and mix it with water. The ratio that you use is the ratio on the package, which is 2 parts plaster of Paris to 1 part cold water. When you're working with the dry plaster of Paris, please work in a well-ventilated area and wear some sort of protection over your face so that you don't inhale the dry plaster of Paris. Mix it thoroughly and then work quickly because it begins to cure very quickly. Pour it or scoop it into your mold. It's helpful if you have your mold on a hard, flat surface such as a baking sheet, because once you've filled the mold, it's helpful to lift up the baking sheet and drop it. This helps distribute the plaster of Paris evenly within the mold and also get rid of any air bubbles that are in the plaster of Paris. Wait 20 to 30 minutes minimum for the plaster of Paris to cure, and then gently remove it from the mold. If you're using a salt dough mold, you may have to clean the salt dough off of your cast. You can now trim it with a knife, sand it smooth, and then you can seal it, for example with Mod Podge, and paint it. Here are some plaster casts that I have made in the past. This one is a little skull. And these are various tropical items that I used as wall hangings. Happy crafting!